This is World Peace Television, and the producer is George Wen, and we're here covering an important Irish-Indian, very important fundraising, and we'll let our host, who's flown here from Ireland, to introduce herself and say a few words, and then Mary Reid. Say a few words while you're here.
Yeah. My name is Maureen Forrest, and I am the founder, director of the Hope Foundation. I have come to New York to raise awareness of this wonderful foundation where we care for street and slum children. Of course, one of our focuses, apart from raising awareness, would also to get people to support us and to help us in this amazing cause. We take care of over and have taken care of over 2 million children and underprivileged people in Calcutta.
Calcutta, India.
India, yes, Calcutta, India. Yeah, and we are so delighted. I know that Gloria has done amazing work getting people to come to this event over the past time.
With Mary, we worked hard.
Yeah, with Mary, and I know how hard it is to fundraise and to get people to attend. And Gloria, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you.
We're very grateful that you're grateful, and I think Mary should say a few words because this is a startup in the United States. So I believe you have ambitions to go nationwide. Am I correct?
Thanks, Gloria. Yes, we do. We're going to start in New York City, but we definitely have ambitions to go nationwide. We've launched Hope USA here in September. And here we are having our second annual Taste of Hope here at the American Irish Historical Society. We have great committee members and volunteers. And thanks to people like Gloria, we will spread the word about the work we do in Calcutta, India.
Now, Edna is an envoy for a TV production company. The one I know is John Norris, but she'll tell you a little more. And they are here because she's here on their behalf for Meera Gandhi because they have some projects in view with Meera.
Yes, thank you, Gloria. I'm here on behalf of Rise Production and the Bravo TV network with J.D. Lawrence and John Norris. What we do is production with directors, producers. I do the casting, directing for talent, and liaison for a Rise production company, John Norris. So we are doing something very intricate in everything with Meera Gandhi, and we're looking forward to getting that project going with the Bravo network. Thank you, Gloria.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks to George Wen, our producer. This is Gloria Kins, and I'm with George Wen, the producer of Peace Television. It's very nice to know that you flew in from Ireland. Would you talk about your company and about why you flew in for this occasion?
Yeah, so I play with, it's an Irish game, hurling back in Ireland. So I've been invited over here to represent my county team, which is Limerick. We were lucky enough to win the All-Ireland final after a 45-year gap in Ireland, which is equivalent to winning the Super Bowl out here. So I'm just representing, I suppose, my county team and representing a great organisation, and it's great that my name is associated with this organisation.
And have you been to New York before?
Well, I've been out here playing hurling before in Yonkers, but that was about 6 summers ago, so I haven't been out here since, so I'm really enjoying myself so far and doing all the tourist attractions, which is great.
Thank you so much, Richie McCarthy. And could you introduce her to your gorgeous young friend that you're traveling with?
Yeah, that's my girlfriend with 9 years, Ruth Ryan, and she looks lovely.
Yeah, what is her name?
Ruth Ryan. So, do you want to have a chat with her?
Yes.
Do you want to have a talk?
Are you enjoying your visit in New York?
Are you enjoying your visit?
Yeah, it's absolutely fab. It's very cold though, that's the only thing. But it's been brilliant, yeah, we're really, really enjoying it. We cycled Centre Park today, it was beautiful. It's lovely. We're hoping the next 2 days now that it won't snow because it's cold enough as it is. But yeah, we're really enjoying our time here.
Well, we hope you'll come back again in the warm weather and we'll give you an even warmer welcome. This is George Wen. He's the producer of World Peace Television. And I don't know if you're doing any projects with China right now, but he's also involved with the United Nations, and this will go worldwide. So please say why you're here and what you'd like to tell about your company.
Sure.
You can all interview.
So I am an attorney with Reed Smith, and I do a lot of work in China, and I've been very fortunate to spend time over there working with different companies that are either investing in the United States or U.S. people that are interested in bringing brands over to China. And I've been doing international tax and corporate for a very long time, and we've had the pleasure of, as I said, working with many Chinese nationals here in the United States. And I'm here because I'm involved with the Hope Foundation, an amazing group of people raising money for the street children of Kolkata, India.
And what's important is it's funding from Ireland, and that the Prime Minister of Ireland, the Taoiseach, is part Indian.
Correct.
I didn't realize that.
Please say a few words.
Sure, absolutely. Actually, I'm, as you can see, of Indian origin, and so this event means a lot to me. I was introduced to this event by my good friend Sheila. So I'm an attorney by background as well, work for a hedge fund in New York, Elliott Management, and starting to get a lot more involved in charity and charitable organizations, and it's an incredibly worthwhile cause. I'm very proud to be a part of it, and quite honored to be asked to be part of this wonderful event.
And as a new father, it's important to help children. So now that he's a father, he realizes the importance of what Hope Foundation does.
Yes.
So his son is only, 15 months old?
Just about.
So we're expecting a lot more from you.
So his first word should be hope.
Actually, his first word, honest to God, was tax. I'm a tax attorney. Yeah.
So thank you very much. We're pleased to know you. This is Gloria Kins hosting for George Wen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Here we are at the Hope Foundation at the American Irish Historical Society, and we're here for the benefit gala in for the cause of raising money in Kolkata, India. We have Ming Chong here with us, and she's going to say a few words.
我是陈明律师。这个 Hope Foundation 他们是帮这个小孩子在 India 那边，是帮他赚钱，还有教他们怎么做工作，还有怎么赚钱。这个 Foundation 是个很 Well, they've been existing for a very long time. And so Sheila, which is my legal partner, has done a lot of work for the foundation. She's a chairperson of the Hope Foundation, and she will be actually traveling to India in order to see the kind of work that the Hope Foundation actually does. So if you want to donate to a great cause, please donate to the Hope Foundation. Thank you.
你好，让我来介绍一下这位女士，Regina Russell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Regina Russell， 她是做那个人事工作的，长期的有经验的人事部门经理。让她说两句给我们的 TV. What do you want to say?
So my cousin is Maureen Forrest, who started this organization. My grandfather was her father's brother, and I'm in New York, so I'm from two cultures, from the Irish and Italian. And I grew up here. I did counseling for students with learning disabilities, and very often brought them to the UN, because I think global communication and understanding is very important.
她也是多种文化背景，是意大利和爱尔兰的那种移民背景。然后她主要是在做小孩子的，就是儿童的那个事业，基金事业。然后她想就是带来很多的，就是给小孩子带来很多的希望，通过这个基金会。OK， 谢谢。
I want to say thank you to the media partners who were part of tonight's event, including Paddy McCarthy from the Irish Examiner, Gloria Starr-Kins, the editor-in-chief of the Society and Diplomatic Review, the International Egyptian Women's Club, Egypt TV, and donated services of our wonderful photographer, Stefan Alba. We'd also like to thank the committee who put this evening's event together. Our committee was led by Sheila Garrity. Sheila, thank you, and thank you also to your exceptional committee members. Thank you to Sheila. Tom Brown, Shri Rajan, Gloria Starr-Kins, Danny Gould, Oisin Lamb, Cindy Calloway, Joe Walsh, Kathleen Cronin, Anjali Sharman, Una-Teresa Gormley, and Regina Russo. A warm thank you, folks, for the committee for tonight's event. Thank you. Come on, a warm welcome for the committee, guys. Come on. They've been working all year. So here we are this evening at a Taste of Hope 2019. Tonight's benefit is the second annual Taste of Hope to benefit the Hope Foundation, and the headquarters of the Hope Foundation exists in Cork in Ireland. Tonight we are here to raise awareness and vital funds for marginalised children in Kolkata, India, where all of the work takes place. So the Hope Foundation. The Hope Foundation is an Irish charity supporting overseas development and tackling humanitarian issues in Kolkata, India. It is estimated that up to a quarter of a million children are on the streets in the slums of Kolkata. And finally, we're delighted to say since 2018 that Hope has now opened a chapter and is an official 501c3 charity here in New York and the United States of America. So welcome to America, Hope, and we're so honoured to have you here. The Hope Foundation was established in Ireland by Irish humanitarian Maureen Forrest in 1999 to help support children and their families. And we're delighted to say that this actually is the 20th birthday of Hope. So congratulations, Hope, on your 20th birthday. 20 great years later, Hope now provides support to over 60 projects, including education, primary health care, child protection, children's shelters, vocational training, and drug rehabilitation. Hope has offices in Cork, Dublin, the UK, the US, and India. And Hope also works alongside many NGOs in India to rescue thousands of children from the streets and slums of Kolkata. There is no great organisation, folks, and no organisation stays alive for 20 years without significant achievements along the way. The Hope Foundation has helped over 2.8 million people since 1999. It has 16 full-time dedicated staff in Ireland. It has 1 staff member in the UK and 1 staff member here in America. On the ground in India, it serves over 527 staff to take care of the programs in Kolkata. It raises every year over $2 million, all of the money, €2 million, and all of the money raised goes towards the program in Kolkata. One of the very important programs is called the School Immersion Program. It's a very popular program that was created in 2003. And what this program is where students from Ireland travel to India every year, and since 2003, over 3,500 high school children have travelled to India to learn the circumstances of what's going on there. Delighted to say that we have 2 schools here in New York who are now taking children to Calcutta this year, and the Hope Foundation are very much open to other schools who would like to join this project. Later on this evening you'll hear from Maureen Forrest, the founder of Hope, and her remarkable story. But first I'd like to welcome to the stage the Irish government, a representative of the Irish government. As you know, the Irish government is exceptional and the Irish people are exceptional in our charitable giving. I think last year we were something like, per capita, we were the highest country in the world per capita for giving. So please welcome to the stage, and we're delighted you could join us this evening, the Deputy Consul General of Ireland, Miss Emer Friel.
Thank you, George, and thank you for having me here this evening. It's great to be in this August building with a wonderful programme for this evening, but it's also important to remember why we're here. In every society, there are those who are more fortunate and those who are less fortunate, and we know that very well in Ireland. Ireland and the Irish people have a long history of giving, as George was alluding to, and a commitment to the reduction of poverty and vulnerability. And many trace this empathy to its deep roots in our country's history, in famine and migration. And that's a history that saw millions flee our island in the 19th century for a better life on these shores. And the Irish in America kept those values and are justly proud of how hard they've worked and what they've given back to the Irish community here, to the communities where they made their homes, and to the worthy causes both here and overseas. That's why we're here this evening. The story of the Irish famine in the 1840s is well known, I think, in the US, but perhaps a little well known is the story of an international appeal that was established in Dublin in 1879. There was a particularly difficult year that year for a variety of reasons, and the fund was established to raise money for the relief of people who were in dire distress in ways unparalleled since the famine. And that fund was presided over by the Lord Mayor of Dublin at the time, It raised, by the time it finished, it raised £181,000 and helped over 500,000 people. But the interesting fact about this is that the largest single donation came from India. It was £1,000 and it came from the Maharaja of, excuse me if I mispronounce, the Vizianagaram. Did I get that? I think the Irish people are always having their names mangled, so hopefully I'll be forgiven for that one. But I thought this was a really interesting little nugget of history, and it just shows that the Irish people, we carry this memory of generosity with us. We carry that desire to return it to people wherever we go in the world. Maybe it's here in New York, maybe it's in Kolkata, or the many other places where you find the Irish people. And that response is in a spirit of solidarity and respect to people who find it difficult to break out of the depths of poverty. And it calls us to draw on ourselves and understand how the challenges of poverty and hunger affect us. And therefore it's important for us to recall our own past and not seek to see it repeated in the lives of our fellow citizens of the world. I'm not saying it for the sake of it. I'm talking about tangible changes to people's lives, and that's what this evening is about. It's creative initiatives like addressing the unaddressed NGO in Dublin, teaming up with the Hope Foundation, and creating a way to give homes in Kolkata an ID number that allows people there to have an address, that enables them to have a bank account, receive mail, get IDs, and helps officials identify what their needs are, including health and education. Just imagine living in New York with no address on your home. Imagine all the things you couldn't do. And that's just one example of what the Hope Foundation is doing as part of its mission. George has listed a considerable other number of projects, and I'm sure Maureen will be giving us some more detail in a few minutes. But I think it's very heartening to be looking here around the room here this evening and seeing so many faces who are willing to give back, to share, to help, and to give hope. So I want to leave this evening with my favourite Irish proverb, which I think encapsulates the essence. It's Ar Scáth Chéile a Mhar na Daoine, we rely on each other for shelter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian from the Irish Consulate. I'd also like to welcome into the room the Consulate General of Italy, Alvira Guzaria, and also the Consul General of Indonesia, Victoria Pova. I'd now like to welcome to the stage the Director of Hope Calcutta, India. She's the Director of the Calcutta Foundation since its inception in 1999, and she's the recipient of several awards and oversees 500 staff members in Calcutta. She's travelled here this evening from India to be with us tonight, so please give a very, very warm welcome to Geeta Vigale Krishan. Thank you.
Good evening to all. Thank you for giving this opportunity to invite me over here and for this August event organized by Mary Reed from Hope USA. Thank you, Mary. And it was not easy, and I was very young, the age of 24. It was how I met Maureen, who said that children living on the street, nowhere in the world the children live on the street. And we met each other and started with 14 children. And now we reach out to 55,000 children and 2.8 people in education, protection, and health and skill training. The education is the only way which has broken the cycle of poverty and has made many children and bringing up to the graduation level, up to the third level education, and also giving back to the children the same. It is require a lot of fund. With India having 1,350,000 population, the schemes which has been there, it's still not enough to reach many of them. They're still not reached. And it is very difficult because of this big population. Yes, we are growing, but still there are many children who are not being touched by education or basic ensuring rights. We all have to give back to the children over here to make the world a better place in the next generation, so that's life. The way you have got, we should bring up those children who have not getting enough. So I have been here to have support as many sponsorships, giving back, at least sponsor one child, and that child when grows up will definitely sponsor another child. It's a life cycle. And For that, each sponsorship is very important to make sure that they get 18 years, because you bring or rear a child for 18 whole years to come up to one stage. So it's not for 1 year or 2 years, it's a continuous process. If you cannot, at certain point of time, ask your friend or any other relative to carry on. So that is all about life, I believe, because I have come from the age of 16 years. I have been working with Mother Teresa's Leprosy Center as a volunteer, and I learned everything from Mother, because she, being a Hindu, it was nothing for me for anything. She says people is important, humanity is important. So for me, religion is very important. So that's how I learned humanity, and it really well matched with Maureen when I met, because for us she is a little Mother Teresa in Calcutta. Because with her only, during the Bhuj earthquake, it was one phone call. Nita, would you not go to and bring your team to the disaster place and see so many people? We didn't have a fund. With one phone call, the Irish government gave us 3 million, and we could do building homes, treating them, and we reached to many people, built many people's lives. Same thing happened in tsunami. The same thing, the people had come, and the Irish had been a very good community for us. Small country making big differences, I always say. And but why Irish? It should be all over the country. Everybody should support one another. That's how the world is, because you know what? Now we are facing a challenge on peace, and you can know the latest news, but it is very difficult. So we need to have peace and make a world a better place. So educating children out of poverty is one of the big things which we all should support. Because one life, we should give it back. So $250, I would say, appeal for one child to bring for 1 year for education. We buy many things. We can really spray €1 or €20 per month separately and put it to the children. So thank you. I will not take much more. I would like to introduce Mehroon Khatun. Please come, Mehroon. She's been brought up from 6 years in our protection home. And today, because she got this education sponsorship, and she will talk about herself, and this is how she is now going to raise voice for other children who don't have education. So over to my room. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mehroon Khatun. I'm a student of Hope Foundation. I was brought up here since the age of 6, and I lost my parents. Since 6 years old, I have been to Hope Foundation. So right now, I'm in State Department program, which is done by US Consulate. I would love to thank Hope Foundation for all the opportunity that you all gave me, and I would also love to be the voice of other children, so that the way you have given me, I would also appeal for other children. They also get the right to education. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. Just because of you all, where I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And just an example, folks, of one of the millions and millions of people that Hope have helped over the years. I just want to say thank you this evening to the American Irish Historical Society here in 5th Avenue, to Sophie Colgan and her staff. If it's your first time in this building, you're very, very welcome. I also want to say thank you to our media friends and partners here. Shining a light on organisations like Hope is vital to its sustainability. We encourage you all to take photographs tonight. Please share information on social media, and we're delighted that you're all here. Our next guest speaker is Vice President of Global Services, Policy and Government Affairs at Global Citizen. An accomplished campaigner, commentator and speaker, has been advocating on issues of extreme poverty since high school. He currently serves as Global Policy and Advocacy Manager for Global Poverty Project, where he coordinates a number of campaign initiatives. Please welcome to the stage Michael Shilnick. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And look, I'd say it's an honour to be here tonight. And I think firstly I want to thank both the governments of India and Ireland for having us this evening. I've had the privilege of spending a lot of time in both countries over the last few years. India, is a phenomenally beautiful, rich, diverse country. And of course, Ireland, we talk a lot about global citizenship. And I think for me, if there's one country that epitomizes the spirit of global citizenship, it's really Ireland. I think I had the pleasure of visiting there 3 times last year, most recently just in December, where I met Maureen for the first time at the Docus Charitable Awards. And like Maureen and like so many other Irish people out there, you know, that spirit of generosity, you know, that we see Ireland, I think it really does set a strong example for others. I think last year at our Global Citizen Festival in New York, which for those of you that don't know what we do, it's a big festival we do every year on Central Park, 60,000 people to call for an end to extreme poverty. It's a real hoot. You guys should all come this year. But last year we had your Taoiseach, for those of you from Ireland, Simon Cavini. And it's not often that you get leaders on the stage talking about actually wanting to increase the amount of support they give in overseas development assistance to the most marginalized. These days we spend countless hours trying to reach diplomats, ambassadors, and there's not a lot of courage, there's not a lot of bravery. There's very few leaders willing to step up. But for a leader to get up of a nation and say, yes, we're going through hard times, yes, there's challenges, Brexit, all these other things, but to say we're going to reach our international obligations, increase our aid program by, I think, something like 15% this year is extraordinary. But I know that deep down, the thing that makes that all possible is because, as we've heard, the generosity of Irish citizens, first and foremost. You've rightly said, I think, you know, in terms of private donations, is one of the most generous nations in the world. And Maureen, you know, learning about your work has been an inspiration, and it's so needed, I think, right around the world, not least in places of West Bengal and others. There are children, I mean, that's what we're talking about. There are children that still die due to infectious diseases, that are still malnourished, that still go without education. And in the 21st century, it really is an injustice. And so I implore the work of Maureen, your foundation, and everything you do. I think it epitomizes the spirit of global citizenship. We're certainly here to support, because change starts with one child. We can all point to one teacher, one person in our lives that have made a difference. And I think, you know, you mentioned the need of 70 million when we were talking just before, but if we can focus on even one district and start with those ripples of change, you know, we can have enormous change. And so with that in mind, you know, I think the cost, I was told, I was asking, you know, how much it costs to sustain this program, and I was told it's $3 million. $3 million. It's not a lot. So my appeal, my plea to everyone here this evening is to dig deep. They've come a long way. I see plenty of people from India. Let's not let them leave empty-handed, and support them. So thank you again. Congratulations. You're all global citizens. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Michael, for your eloquent words. Before we move on, we have a wonderful treat very soon of Indian dancing. I'd like to welcome to the stage global humanitarian philanthropist. She is the founder and CEO of the Giving Back Foundation. She was born in Mumbai, India, to an Irish mother and an Indian father. At the age of 16, she met Mother Teresa and worked with her helping children at Ashadan, Mumbai. Inspired by this experience, she went on to found the Giving Back offices with projects in India, New York, Hong Kong, Turkey, and the UK. Please welcome to the stage Ms. Meera Gandhi. Thank you.
Good evening. I know all of you have been standing for a long time, so I will be very brief. But tonight is particularly special to me personally because my mother is Irish. She's a Dublin City girl, and she has a home in Blackrock, and it goes back home to Dublin 3 times a year. So this is a particularly special charity to me. There are many serendipitous coincidences this evening. For example, my very best friend growing up in India, in the Convent of Jesus and Mary, run by an Irish nun, was Geeta Venkateshwaran, and the development director's name is exactly the name of my best friend. In addition to that, I was fortunate to work with Mother Teresa. It happened quite by accident. I was in Mumbai, and from high school, I had to finish a number of community hours. So with some friends, we went to Mother Teresa's Ashadam in Baitala. I enjoyed that experience so much that I went every single Saturday after that for my last 2 years of high school. I used to go there. Most of the kids, as you know, in Ashadam were handicapped, so we basically would feed them, and then you had to give them a bath because they were completely covered in food, and then we would dress them, put them into their cots for the afternoon nap. Along the way, I had the great fortune of seeing Mother there. People have asked me, like, what was it like? You know, when you're 16 and all the nuns are doing their thing, you don't even realize the impact of it. But there are a couple of things about Mother. Her joyfulness made me really understand how the journey, when you impact another person's life, how your own life becomes so joyful. And I think that up at a very early age, and I think it has helped me through my entire journey of life and in my experiences of talking to people and dealing with people. The other coincidence is Maureen Forrest was actually mentioned to me 4 years ago by the Irish ambassador in Delhi, and it's so fortuitous that now I'm in your life and I intend to support you guys. I'm going nowhere. You have my support. You have the support of the Giving Back Foundation. I applaud you for what you do. I applaud you for your cheeky energy and your big street hair. You're just like so youthful and so special. A big shout out to Charlotte, who handles everything with the Hope Foundation. She's right here. A couple of other people who are here who haven't been mentioned. Oh, by the way, my mom is a McCarthy, and I know Richie McCarthy is here. So Richie, I told you it was very serendipitous. I'm a McCarthy deep down. A couple of shout outs. David Rick is here supporting tonight. David's right there. Shout out to John Norris from Bravo, who's here. Gloria Kins, who is this amazing, amazing force of energy. She's like 90 years old, and she gets out every night. Gloria, special shout out to you. She just had knee surgery, but she's here. I love your spirit. So on that note, thank you everyone for being here. I'm so honored and so happy to be involved in this. And thank you for everyone who's here, because I know in New York all of you have so many other things to do and so many other places to go to, and you're still here to show your support. So I want to say God bless you all. Thank you. Namaste. Shlanta. Good night.
Thank you. So Sophie, we can stand by with our music. I just want to say, Maureen, I have actually not met you till this evening, and I just want to say on a personal note, congratulations. You know, I know we have many speech makers up here, but sitting in a kitchen 20 years ago coming up with a vision, anybody who runs organizations really understand that. So I'd love a very, very special, warm welcome, and thank you to Maureen. So an Irish Indian party would not be a party without a dance. So if you all want to gather around, we have some wonderful dancing coming up. We may need to move our cameras a little bit out of the way slightly. So I'd like to welcome to the stage a classically trained artist in the sacred ancient temple art form called Odissi. Additional performances include theatre, Bollywood dance, Indian folk dance, dance theatre, as well as other contemporary dance forms. Very good. So I'd like to welcome to the stage Radhika Vidas. Thank you.
Thanks.